I'm going to be showing you how to tie my Marabou Damselfly nymph. I'm using this size 10 scud hook, heavy wire. I like to use heavy wire because this has caught me big bass before and I don't want to bend out the hook. I'm usually throwing it at small sunfish though, but I mean it catches a lot of fish. For thread I'm using this 210 denier, an olive. We're going to start just behind the eye of the hook. Give it a couple wraps back to the shank and snip our excess. And then we can wrap back to about the midsection. We're going to take some black dumbbell eyes. You can choose whatever size depending on how deep you're trying to get. I think these are small. That's usually what I'm using. Sometimes I'll go extra small as well. I like to add a drop of super glue. And then we can tie in our dumbbells, or bead chain, sorry. I'm just doing a figure 8 here. Get that down tight. If it's leaning too far to one side, you can kind of counter wrap it. And then just wrap underneath to pull those strings down. And then we can work our way to the back of the hook. My thread's getting tight here, so I'm gonna let it spin so it can flatten out. I've kind of angled the fly at a slant here so I can tie better. I like to tie this fly in olive. I sometimes tie it in tan if I'm trying to imitate a swimming crawfish, but usually olive if I'm imitating a damsel. I'm using this olive Marabou sculpin blood quill. And for this fly, when I'm choosing the feather, I'm kind of just choosing a junk feather, to be honest. I usually pull from the stems. I'm not looking for a profile, I'm just looking for movement. A loose wrap. And then cinch down and just make sure that sits where you want it. And you can tie that marabou into the fly more and then snip your excess. I have this waspy life cycle dubbing. Nymph dubbing specifically. I'm going to be going with this medium olive. Now if you've never used wax dubbing before, you should really get some. I first started without it, and ever since I've gotten it, I have not stopped using it. Just rub that on their thread. I'm actually going to be using brown olive dubbing, not that medium olive. You can twist that in. On this first section, I like to keep it pretty thin. Just wrap that in to fill up the body. Again, I'm just picking out some trash feathers. You can even put a couple together to get your desired look. And we're going to tie that in at the top of the fly. A loose wrap, another loose wrap, and then you can cinch down. And just make sure that sits where you want it. And then we can snip the excess and pull that back. Make sure this is all tight here. Hit it with some more wax. Brown olive dubbing. This section you can keep a little bit thicker. We're going to cover up these eyeballs. And just kind of figure eight. Sometimes you gotta put more dubbing on. And whip finish. Snip our excess. Get a little drop of head cement in there. Once it dries, we can go ahead and brush it out. And now it just has this really nice buggy look to it. Pretty realistic damsel nymph. I love the way this Marabou flows. I like to throw this in shade, in deeper pockets. Again, changing out that weight, you know, depending on where you're fishing. If you want to add some flash, I'll add in some gold wire and just wrap it around that body. It adds a little bit of flash, nothing crazy.